So I'm not totally sure this fits the parameters of the assignment, but earlier this week I saw a high school play. So my roommate's like mentor and like person she lived with when she first moved here, Cherish, is a high school theater director. So she put on a play of a Midsummer Night's Dream, and it was kind of like a modern telling with all the students. And I went and watched it to support, and I thought it was really fun and cool. The stuff that was like different than when I was in high school, like they had a lot of like focus on like inclusion and like gender identity expression, or like just kind of letting students be creative in different kind of ways, but also be themselves. And it, like, regardless of how the actual play was, I felt like watching all these students come together and create something, and like how emotional they got about it, and how much it was like at the end, because it was the final show, they gave like a little speech and thanked like the teachers and the director, Cherish, and like and they were just so excited, and it kind of brought me back to high school where like that was like doing something with all of my group of friends. Like that was our big thing, you know, that was the whole world. And it made me pretty emotional, that kind of part to it, and how kind of seeing some of that, of like the excitement behind creating things and expressing yourself. I don't know, there was something like meaningful in it that made me think more about like media and how we, and like TV show and everything that's created in the behind the scenes part of it, because you get kind of a glimpse of that, seeing the students get so excited. So anyway, I was just grateful. So this last week I started playing a video game called It Takes Two. Sorry, I had to check. And it's a cooperative game, so it literally takes two people. So I started it with my roommate and best friend, Olivia, and it takes two for this video. But and the concept of it is like this video game where it's like a married couple whose marriage is on the rocks, and then something happens, so they end up in like as these little dolls navigating all these difficult situations. And all the like mechanisms of the game, like defeating the bosses, things like that, require like your two characters have different abilities, so you have to like use them in different ways and problem solve and do puzzles and get through them. So like when we fail against the boss, we fail together. When we succeed together. So it's a lot of fun. Do you like it?
Yeah, I do.
And it's been like a good, I think it speaks some to, on like a theological level. I was thinking about like the need for one another, and the like kind of unity in that, and in like having different strengths and different gifts, and that we work better when you have two or even more. So that's all. I finally caught up on and watched Squid Game, which has been sweeping through the nation, and I thought it was like a really fun show, like very engaging, kind of one of those ones that like you both can look, but you can't look away. But I also thought there were lots of other interesting elements to it, like a lot of I don't know, like a statement kind of. I think the overall thing was a statement about things like capitalism, and about like kind of the rich being able to watch the suffering of the weak as like, or not the weak, of the poor, of the disenfranchised, as even entertainment. And I thought this was interesting. I'm like in another class doing an exegesis on Luke, and so I've just been thinking a lot about that kind of stuff, like massive economic disparities and income inequality, and I don't know, how we have such a culture around like really rich people, but that like a lot of interpretation of those Bible verses has become like almost very like metaphorical, or like, oh, it's just poetic, instead of like really like, though they kind of mean it when they're like, sell your belongings, like live differently, because they live it out in Acts. And I don't know, I've just been wrestling with that, and that's been a bit of a challenge to me lately. And I thought about that some watching Squid Game. Not that I like, I mean, I'm a relatively privileged person. I'm not like watching people with loads of money debt kill each other for a game. But like, I was just trying to think of like, what are the other things that are kind of like, even just in my like more privileged state, that like compared to how other people live every day, that I don't like face those realities, or I don't look at them head on, or like I can't look at them. So I've just been reflecting about that, and I don't know that I have an exact answer. I think I've just needed to challenge myself more on the ways I live and the ways we in general live as more privileged people. So last week I went and took my nieces to the new Disney movie Encanto, and I absolutely loved it. It's like about a Colombian family, and I don't know like about all this stuff in it, but I think just the themes in general about like family, and especially when you have kind of this family legacy or this narrative around your family, and the way different individuals in that family are all going to respond differently, whether it's like feeling the pressure to be like perfect, or feeling like you're kind of on the outside or don't fit in, or like removing yourself. I felt like I just made lots of connections to even my own family, and just on a broader scale, kind of the connections of like how when we all have differences, whether in like a church or in community or things like that, we're all going to respond or interpret things differently, and bring our different gifts to the table. And that's not always a clean or neat thing, but at the end of the day, which was kind of the theme of the movie, like the heart of the family is what matters, and like the looking out for each other, and loving one another. I don't know, I don't want to spoil too much because I highly recommend it, but I just thought I love a lot of the Disney movies and the ways they've gone away from, as much as I love like the romantic Disney movies, I love the way they've gone away from those, and I felt like done much more relatable themes actually to kids, like the targeted audience, of like family or friendship or just other kinds of love. So I really enjoyed watching that, and getting to do it with my nieces too. Many tears were shed.